So welcome back, dear students. Okay, in the second part of my video, right? Okay, or in the second video, I'm going to deal with the second part of this lesson, which is restrictive clauses, okay, or defining clauses. Okay, so in the first video we have seen what the relative pronouns, okay, and we have seen also what each one of them in which case do we use each one of these words. Here in this video we are going to explain, right, what do you mean by defining clauses or restrictive clauses. Okay, it's the same thing. Defining, some people call it defining clauses, okay, and other people call it restrictive clauses, okay, and also non-defining or non-restrictive clauses. Okay, so let's have a look at the example here, and the first let's say the first one, which is defining clauses. We have in the example, the students who studied Spanish in Common Core have difficulties in English in their second year baccalaureate. Okay, so the students who studied Spanish in Common Core have difficulties in English in their second year baccalaureate. Okay, so here, as you can see, we have here we have the clause here in bold, as you can see it, who studied Spanish in common core. Okay, so I will ask you the question, okay, if we are to delete the sentence, okay, or this clause, who studied Spanish in common core, okay, let's say, the meaning change or not, okay, would this affect, okay, the meaning of the sentence? If I am to say, the students, okay, have difficulties in English in their second year baccalaureate. The students have difficulties in English in their second year baccalaureate. Okay, of course, right, the meaning will change because it's like if you say all the students or any students, okay, have difficulties in English in their second year baccalaureate. Okay, and this is not actually true. It's not true. It's not all the students, but here it is restricted. Okay, it is defined and it is restricted here. It's restricted to the students, okay, right, who studied Spanish in Common Core. Okay, some students, of course, they study Spanish in their first year in the high school, okay, which is the Common Core. And okay, afterwards, okay, especially if they are to change the place, okay, they would have difficulties with English because they haven't studied English before. So that's why we would say that the meaning will change, which means that this clause, who studied Spanish in Common Core, it is very necessary. It's necessary for the meaning of our sentence, okay? And if we are to omit this one, we will change the meaning, okay? And that's why we call it restrictive clause, okay? And the restrictive clauses are indispensable to the meaning, which means they are necessary. They are necessary, okay? Here again, they also restrict or define the word they modify. Here, when I say who studied Spanish in Common Core, here this clause, of course, defines or restricts the students, okay, the students here. So here it modifies the students, okay, and of course it restricts or defines the students, okay, because it restricts, it tells us which students, okay, have difficulties, okay, and it's not all the students, of course, it's just the students who studied Spanish in Common Core. Then it is not, okay, or such clauses, they are not used between commas. We don't put them between two commas, as you can see here, okay? Right, okay? So that, I will repeat again, they are indispensable to the meaning, which means they are necessary for the meaning of the sentence, okay? They restrict or define the word they modify, okay? As here, they restrict, okay? Let's say the students here are not used between commas, okay? And let's move to the next one. For non-defining or non-restrictive clauses, okay, we can have the example here. His Majesty Mohammed VI, okay, who is the King of Morocco, was in Saudi Arabia a few months ago. Okay, here I will ask you the same question. If we are to delete or to omit the sentence or the clause, okay, which is in bold here, who is the King of Morocco, will it change the meaning or not? If I are to say, for example, His Majesty Mohammed VI was in Saudi Arabia a few months ago. Of course, nothing will change, okay? Because here, when I say who is the King of Morocco, everyone knows that Mohammed VI is the King of Morocco. So, right, this will change nothing. It will not make any right, okay, it will change nothing in the meaning of the sentence, okay. That's why we call it non-defining or non-restrictive clause, okay. Right, non-restrictive clauses, okay, are not essential to the meaning, which means they are not necessary for the meaning of our sentence, okay, are interesting but not necessary, okay, which means they could be important, but they are not necessary, okay, right, are not, okay, or do not restrict or define the word, okay, they modify or it modifies here. So here, okay, when I say who is the King of Morocco, it does not restrict, okay, it does not tell us which king, okay, of course, because everyone knows that, okay, His Majesty Mohammed VI, when I say His Majesty Mohammed VI, it means it is the King of Morocco. Everyone knows that, okay? Then, and also are used between commas. As you can see here, we put who is the King of Morocco between two commas, and it shows that, right, the meaning here is not, okay, that here the clause is not, right, let's say, necessary for the meaning of the sentence, and it is non-restrictive, okay. So that's it, right. Let's have a look at the following task, okay. The task is just to choose, okay, or can you tell which of the following sentences are correct and justify your answer? Of course, okay, you have to tell us why then. Okay, so of course you don't have here the ability to answer, but you can think about it, give it right, okay. Okay, let's say some time to think about it, okay. Monuments which are a human heritage must be restored, okay. As you know, monuments, okay, right, which are a human heritage, okay, must be restored, okay. So, is it restrictive or non-restrictive? Okay, here in the first one, in A, we use the commas, and in the second one, we don't use the commas. Okay, so here, which one of them is correct? Okay, or which one is appropriate to use here? Okay, so if you can make the choice, okay, the correct choice, then you would say it's A. Okay, why? But why A? Because, okay, when I say monuments, okay, they are by definition a human heritage. They are human or heritage. Okay, is it clear? All, okay, historical monuments, they are by definition, they are a human heritage. Okay, so there is no need to say that which are a human heritage. Okay, طبعا هو بحال عبارة واحد تكرار ولا واحد الإطناب if we are to use it here, which are a human heritage. Let's move to the second example. Right. The boy whom they asked to give the speech is very shy. The boy whom they asked to give the speech is very shy. So here, which one is correct? Okay, is it A or B? So it is, of course, it is B, because here it restricts, it still tells us which boy, okay? If we are to use, okay, if we are to use the first one, it means that we are talking about, right, okay, any boy, okay? But here it's, okay, we are talking about the boy who is, okay, whom they asked to give the speech, okay? it is the person, he is the person who is shy. Let's move to the next one. Your neighbor who drives a bus is moving to Montreal next month. Okay, your neighbor who drives a bus is moving to Montreal next month. Okay, Montreal, as you know, it's a city in Canada, right? So which one of them is correct? Is it A or B? Of course, here it is. Right, the correct answer is A, because, right, okay, it restricts here and it defines, okay, the neighbor, your neighbor. Okay, of course, you may have, okay, different, okay, neighbors, or you have many neighbors, okay, but here it restricts, okay, which one, okay, we are talking about. Next one, right, the house whose balcony is falling apart was built in the year 1925. Okay, 1925. Okay, so here, which one of them is correct? Yes, so it is, of course, the second one, because it restricts here which house we are talking about. It defines, okay, the house we are talking about or indicating, okay, in this example, right? Okay, if we are to use the first one, okay, it means, okay, in a house, but here we need, okay, the house we are talking about, the house, okay, whose balcony is falling apart, okay, it is the one that was built in the year 1925. Next one. My brother, who used to study in Canada for years, came back home yesterday. Okay, so which one of the two is correct here, right? Is it the first one or the second one? Okay, I will write. Okay, think about it carefully. My brother, who used to study in Canada for years, came back home yesterday. Okay, does it restrict? Okay, let's say my brother. Does it restrict? Okay, my brother. Okay, so here we can say, right? Okay, that in the first one, A could be correct. Okay, A could be correct if I have got what? One brother. If I have got one brother, if there's only one brother, okay, and you know that I have got one brother, so there is no need to say who used to study in Canada for years, okay? So here you don't have to use this one, or so then you can put it between two commas because it's not necessary for the meaning of the sentence, okay? But if I have got two brothers, three brothers, or more, okay, so we need here to specify which brother we are talking about here. Okay, so right, that's it. Okay, it means here that both, okay, of the examples are correct. Okay, so I will skip this one. Okay, so I would say thank you, right? Thanks for watching. Okay, see you in another